Thank you for tuning into my moment. And I just want to give you something real quick, just a little extra snippet. This is a bonus. So, we've been talking about keep on believing, right? And looking at Jairus and how Jesus went with Jairus to heal his daughter. And as he was on the way, a woman in the crowd with an issue of blood came up behind him and touched his garment. That woman was unclean. She dared to go out and make it through this crowd, brushing and touching against people. And then even to go and touch Jesus, though she was unclean. And what this reminds me of is, I'll say it this way, the step of faith, putting your life on the line. What this reminds me of is the book of Esther and what Esther did for her people in obedience to God and the command through Mordecai. Esther, there was a plot to kill the Jews, and King, I can't say his name right, but Ahasuerus or something like that, Ahasuerus or something like that, but AKA Xerxes, so King Xerxes, Esther has to go in without being invited into the king's presence. And the law was, if you were in the court and the king had not invited you, if you came into his presence, you could be killed because he didn't ask you to come in. But if he would put out his scepter to you, point his gold scepter at you, then you had favor with the king. So because of this plot to kill the Jews, Mordecai says, look, man, you gotta go in. You gotta go in. Her uncle says, you gotta go in and talk to the king about this, because if not, all of the Jews are gonna be wiped out. And she's like, well, but what can I do? He hasn't invited me in 30 days. Like, what can I do? You know, you know the law. If I go in and he doesn't accept me, then I'll be killed on the spot. And Mordecai, through the eunuch, sends word back. Listen, don't think about yourself right now. Don't think about what you might have to go through right now. But think about all the people who will suffer if you don't do this. And he says, if you sit quiet in this time of need, if you don't speak up at this time, you will suffer the same fate. And not only that, but who knows? Maybe God placed you in this position in the king's court for this specific time, for this moment, so that God could use you to deliver his people. So here, Esther, she says, look, you guys fast. Me and the women of my court will fast 3 days. On the third day, I'll go in. So they fast, they pray, they seek the Lord, and on the third day, she goes in before the king. And the king extends his scepter to her, grants her favor that she could come in. And if you want to read the rest of the story, I think it picks up there in Esther chapters 6 and 7. Great story to read. Go check it out. But the reason it reminds me of that is this woman puts her life on the line, going and touching Jesus and then having to confess what has been done. But Jesus makes her clean. He heals her. And in our faith walk, God is calling us to step out. He's calling us to take that risk. He's calling us that, yo, look, what you did before, you coming to me was by faith. What makes you think this walk is any different? You came to me and placed your faith and your trust in me for the total and complete forgiveness of sins, and that the penalty is paid, that I paid it on your behalf. So you got saved by faith. What makes you think that that walking in obedience to me is different? So us walking in faith means that we need to do what he says to do. So James says that faith without works is dead. So here this guy, Jairus, could have sat at the crib and been like, you know what? I hope Jesus heals my daughter. I ain't gonna do nothing about it though, but I hope he heals my daughter. And this woman could have said, you know what? Jesus has the power to heal me. Hopefully he heals me. and she didn't do nothing about it. But instead, he goes and seeks Jesus out, and she goes and seeks Jesus out. And watch how Jesus will come through for you if you do the same. So God bless you guys, man. Keep on believing. This is your moment.